The acting director of the United States Secret Service speaking directly to the public on Friday, saying that there were major failings at the attempted assassination of former President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. And just three of the ones that we are closely tracking right now. A radio failure. A local officer reported long gun 30 seconds before the first shots were fired. But that transmission never made it to the Secret Service. Two, drone sensing tech failures. The shooter's drone could have been detected by a system the Secret Service brought in, but wasn't. It was malfunctioning. And three, Trump was still sent out onto that stage even after a photo of the suspicious person was texted to the Secret Service. Joining us now on this, NewsNation national security contributor Tracy Walder. Tracy, thanks for joining us on this.
Thank you for having me, Natasha.
Tracy, what do you think were the most egregious failures that day? What questions do you still have about this?
So really, there's two big ones, in my opinion. And the first is I really want to hone in on that drone technology that you were discussing before. What's really come out of these press conferences is the fact that first of all, the Secret Service didn't even deploy a drone cadre really to this event. They didn't think it was necessary, and they don't have a standing one. That's egregious to me that they don't have that for events, particularly ones that are outside and would require that kind of aerial coverage, that sweeping aerial coverage that they would desperately need. So I thought that was problem number one. Problem number two, as you mentioned before, was communication. The fact that local police, it seems to me, had no way to talk with Secret Service in a quick manner.
I want to talk more about that because we heard Roe just yesterday talking about a radio transmission of the shooter, a local officer reportedly saying into his radio long gun he saw something happening. This was 30 seconds before the first shot was fired. And that because of channel issues, it literally just never made it to Secret Service. Tell us more about that. Explain the gravity of this. What could have happened in those 30 seconds had Secret Service had heard long gun?
So if Secret Service had heard long gun, in all honesty, and I hate to be, blunt, the threat would have been eliminated point blank. Secret Service had a vantage point where they were of being able to take him out. And there is video that you can see of the shooter kind of bobbing his head up and down. They most likely would have then, trained their eyes in that direction and been able to eliminate the threat. So I think right there, just hearing that communication long gun, there was also communication that he had a scope, that, obviously he was looking at the area with the drone, and all of that never really made it to them as well. And I think had they, I believe they probably would have put the pause button on this event.
Okay. And meanwhile, we know that a photo of, this suspicious person, they didn't know definitively that he had a gun at that point, but a suspicious person was texted to the Secret Service, and yet former President Trump was still sent out onto that stage. I mean, in your mind, is that a clear mistake?
Well, I've gone on NewsNation and said point blank that I believe if they had had all of that information, even without us knowing that there was a suspicious person, even with the comms issues, the drone issues, the coverage, the perimeter that they didn't have, in my opinion, he should have never gone out onto that stage, because you want to make sure that all of that is buttoned up before a former president or a president gets on that stage to talk. And so, in my opinion, even without knowing about the threat, but knowing that there was a serious communication issue, I think the event either needed to be pushed back a few hours until they resolved that issue or set for another day.
Tracy Walder, always appreciate the context and time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natasha.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.